He was just waving to his daddy on the way by. That's what Denny Hamlin said after Carson Hocevar flashed Corey Heim the middle finger at the Brickyard 400, creating one of the most controversial moments of the NASCAR season. One sentence, one podcast. And suddenly, a middle finger thrown at 180 miles per hour became the most talked about controversy in the NASCAR Cup Series. But this feud did not start at Indianapolis. It started in the desert with a championship that was ripped away. And if you think you already know this story, you do not. Not yet. Now, let us set the scene properly. The Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway is not just any race. It is one of NASCAR's crown jewel events, a 2.5-mile oval where speeds approach 180 mph and legends are made on the famous Yard of Bricks. Carson Hocevar, driving the No. 77 Spire Motorsports Chevrolet, arrived with genuine speed and won the pole position. On the other side was Corey Heim, driving the No. 67 23XI Racing Toyota in only his 15th career Cup Series start, running part-time. And if the race itself was not dramatic enough, the same afternoon hosted the finals of the Cup Series in-season challenge, a $1 million winner-take-all showdown between 25th-seeded Todd Gilliland and 3rd-seeded Ryan Blaney. Blaney was comfortably leading when he was collected in a 9-car wreck on lap 120, and Gilliland survived to claim the million. That was chaos before the finger ever flew. Hocevar was genuinely fast early, led laps, and looked like a legitimate contender. Then came a pit stop that derailed everything. Caught in traffic after Stage 1, he fell a lap down in Stage 2. During the green flag pit cycle, Hocevar rejoined the track directly behind Heim, who was leading the race. On fresh tires, Hocevar tried to get around the No. 67 and Heim threw a block every single time. There is a detail here that reveals just how personal this already was. Heim had let team owner Denny Hamlin go by moments before, but he did not extend that same courtesy to Hocevar. As Heim peeled off toward pit road, Hocevar came down off turn 4, pulled alongside his rival, and flashed the middle finger out the window. TNT Sports cameras caught the entire moment live. Heim was already heading to pit road and did not even know it happened. He learned about it on the TNT Sports post-race show. Fresh off a victory lane celebration, Heim was completely unfazed. Handed him a big fat L, Heim quipped. He even posted a screen grab of the moment to his Instagram. Hocevar offered a sarcastic explanation. "I'm just a fan. Wanted to wave. He's number one. He won." The final result? Corey Heim won the Brickyard 400 and kissed the bricks. Carson Hocevar finished 9th. To understand why this finger meant so much more than a finger, we have to go back 3 years to Phoenix Raceway and the 2023 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship. Heim was in championship contention. On lap 120, he passed Hocevar for 6th place, making him the highest-running championship-eligible driver provisionally in line to be crowned champion. Seconds later, Hocevar bumped him. First contact, then a second hit that spun Heim completely around. Hocevar admitted over the radio it was an accident and was visibly disappointed. But Heim was not letting that slide. Later in the race, Heim squeezed Hocevar into the fence and left the No. 42 truck with heavy damage. Neither driver won the title that night. Ben Rhodes claimed his 2nd championship. But the foundation of this feud was permanently laid. Years later, Heim was still direct about it. "He wiped me out for a championship." No hate. But no breaks either. Not now. Not ever. From that night forward. These two drivers went in completely opposite directions, and that contrast is exactly what makes this feud so electric. Hocevar has fully embraced his chaotic identity. Unfiltered on the radio, unfiltered in media, drawing comparisons to a young Dale Earnhardt. He is willing to go for wins at whatever the cost. His breakthrough at Talladega Superspeedway was the perfect expression of that identity. Heim is the polar opposite: cool, calm, collected, and devastatingly methodical. He turned down full-time Cup rides to develop properly. As Dave Rogers, competition director of 23XI Racing, put it, turning down full-time rides, he could have been in cars full-time this year. He chose to be patient, do it right, come through our development program. Heim won the 2025 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship, breaking multiple records, and is now signed for full-time Cup duty in 2027 in the No. 35 Toyota. In 15 part-time starts, he is averaging 28.5 points per race, outpacing full-time drivers like Chase Briscoe, who sits 7th in standings. He became the first Cup driver to win twice in his first 15 starts since A.J. Foyt in 1965. One driver is chaos, the other is discipline. And they keep ending up on the same piece of racetrack. The collision course reached a boiling point in June 2026 at the inaugural Cup race at Naval Base Coronado. Hocevar was running second when Heim bumped him in the chicane, sending the No. 77 spinning. Hocevar started on the front row, scored stage points, and ended up 19th. Heim won his first career Cup Series victory that same day. When fans criticized the contact online, Heim fired back on X, throwing Hocevar's own past words directly at his critics. Well, just get the out of the way and there wouldn't be a wreck. You know what I mean? Just move out of the way. Hocevar later asked Denny Hamlin for Heim's phone number. Hamlin, unaware of the on-track incident, assumed Hocevar wanted to congratulate him. The call never happened. Then, when Hocevar hosted the Dale Jr. Download podcast, he publicly called out his rival's silence. I was excited to do the winners segment here. They must not have cell service in California. Can't call in. At Indianapolis, the post-race press conference became an instant classic. After a third question about Hocevar, Heim asked where his rival finished. The media answered in unison 9th. Heim's response was immediate. You guys love talking about a guy who finished 9th. I mean, holy crap. The next day on the Door Bumper Clear podcast, he added, in honor of Carson. I've got my ring on my middle finger. Then, Denny Hamlin entered the conversation and everything escalated. Hamlin holds a unique position here. He is the co-owner of 23XI Racing, Heim's team, and sits 9th on NASCAR's all-time wins list. He had his own painful afternoon at Indianapolis, losing the lead on the decisive lap 127 restart and finishing 5th denied once again at the only crown jewel race that has eluded him in his entire career. Yet he still had plenty to say. On his Actions Detrimental podcast, Hamlin initially said, I'm not talking about that before immediately talking about it at length. I think he's playing chess, not checkers. I think he does dumb just to get people to talk about him when he finishes in 9th place, Hamlin said. Then came the line that spread everywhere. He was just waving to his daddy on the way by. He closed with 3 brutal words. He owns him. Next subject. This was not Hamlin's first commentary either. Earlier in 2026, he stated, emotional drivers do not do well in the Cup Series. And even before that, responding to a fan question, he offered the now legendary puppy analogy. Puppies are great, but if they go in your bed, are you going to just lay in it or teach the puppy where to properly take a dump? The scoreboard currently favors Heim decisively. Phoenix 2023, Heim's payback. San Diego 2026, Heim spun Hocevar, then won. Indianapolis 2026, Heim blocked Hocevar, took the finger, won the Brickyard. But Hocevar declared this war long ago. They can all stand up to the plate and bring it on. I don't know if anyone wants that war. And Heim clearly does want that war. 2027 changes everything. Heim joins the full-time Cup Series in the No. 35 Toyota for 23XI Racing, meaning he and Hocevar will share the racetrack every single week, 36 races a year. No more part-time buffer. Hocevar himself already saw it coming. I wish they were still holding him out and running him part-time because that's eventually a car I'll have to race. The ingredients of a defining NASCAR rivalry are all present history, bad blood, contrasting personalities, genuine talent, and a divided fan base. Think Dale Earnhardt versus Jeff Gordon. Think Kyle Busch versus Joey Logano. Now think Carson Hocevar versus Corey Heim. Neither driver is entirely the hero or the villain, and that is exactly what makes this great. The next chapter of this feud is probably closer than you think, And when it happens, we will be right here to break it all down. This channel is brand new, and we are working hard to reach 1,000 subscribers. If this story kept you hooked from start to finish, please hit the like button and subscribe. It genuinely means everything and helps us keep bringing you breakdowns like this one. Now we want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? Carson Hocevar's fire or Corey Heim's ice? Drop your answer in the comments below.